The end of an era? LeBron's Lakers collapse while Spider Mitchell breaks the matrix. Is this finally the end for LeBron James in the City of Angels? Grab your popcorn and lock the doors because the scripts are being written in real time and the ending is looking like a tragedy for the purple and gold. We just witnessed a night of high-stakes basketball that felt more like a Hollywood thriller than a playoff slate. From a heartbreaking last stand in Los Angeles to a historic, record-shattering explosion in Cleveland, the NBA landscape just shifted on its axis. If you thought you knew how these series were going to end, think again. The drama, the villains, the legends, and the rising superstars. Everything converged into one chaotic evening of hoops that left fans breathless and legacies hanging by a thread. The atmosphere in Los Angeles was so thick with desperation you could practically taste it. A palpable sense of dread hanging over the Crypto.com arena like a shroud. The Lakers weren't just playing a basketball game, they were standing on the precipice of the abyss, clawing at the dirt to avoid the ultimate humiliation. A clean, 4-game sweep at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Every seat in the house felt heavy with the weight of a dying season. And if you needed a definitive sign that the vibes were cursed, you only had to look toward the front row. Eagerly waiting for the Kings' downfall was none other than the NBA's premier agitator, the man everyone loves to hate. Was that really Dylan Brooks we spotted lurking underneath the basket? Yes, the villain himself was physically in the building, draped in Canadian pride, acting as a human omen of the impending collapse. He was there to root for his north-of-the-border teammates, Shai and Lou Dort, but more importantly, he was there to root against LeBron James with every fiber of his being, his presence serving as a psychological thorn in the side of the Laker faithful. The energy in the building was electric, but it wasn't the buzz of a celebration. It was that static, hair-standing on end kind of electricity that precedes a catastrophic lightning strike. Against all odds, the Lakers actually started this do-or-die clash like a team possessed by the ghosts of championships past. They opened the game with a ferocious intensity, fueled by an absolute Austin Reeves masterclass that left the OKC defense reeling. Reeves was playing out of his mind, jousting with the younger Mitchell, draining cold-blooded step-back threes, and weaving through the perimeter defense like he was playing against shadows in an empty gym. At one point, LA ignited a blistering 7-0 run, with Reeves absorbing contact, bumping into defenders, and somehow still getting the soft touch to go. By the end of the first quarter, Austin had carried the Lakers to a 5-point lead, shooting a flawless 3-for-3 from the field. For a moment, just a fleeting, beautiful moment, the Crypto.com arena dared to believe. The fans truly thought they could protect their home court and that LeBron James had one more signature miracle left in the tank to stave off the end. But the reality was hovering just out of sight. The Thunder are the reigning world champions for a reason, and a team that young and that hungry simply does not stay down for long. The second quarter was where the dream started to dissolve into a nightmare. OKC managed to squash that Laker lead into tiny pieces in a matter of minutes. It was an absolute blitz. The speed of Mitchell feeding back, the arrival of Hartenstein, and the sniper-like precision of Alex Caruso. Caruso, the former Laker favorite, turned into a cold-blooded assassin against his old team, knocking down 3 consecutive triples without a single miss. The Thunder knew exactly what they were doing when they snatched him from the Bulls. And then, there was AJ Mitchell. He ignited a 10-0 run that flipped the game from -5 to up by 5 in a span of just 120 seconds. Meanwhile, the Lakers fell into a catatonic state offensively. Their drought lasted for 6 agonizing minutes without a single basket. Turnovers, tough passes from LeBron, and missed assignments allowed the Thunder to cap off a 17-0 run, surging ahead by 12 points. This felt like the beginning of the end, but the Lakers refused to let go of the rope. They clawed back. Reeves started hitting mid-rangers, finding backdoor cuts, and using his gravity to open up the floor. Slow and steady, they dragged themselves back within 4 points before the half. But coming out of the locker room, the electric Thunder guards turned the Jets on again. It was an interception fest. Mitchell going the other way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hitting unguardable shots over double teams. The lead ballooned back to double digits in the blink of an eye. Yet, facing a massive deficit against the absolute best defense in the league, the short-handed Lakers showed a level of resiliency we haven't seen all year. James connected on deep threes, and Jackson Hayes, of all people, turned into a human highlight reel. Hayes posterized Chet Holmgren not once, but twice, sending the crowd into a literal frenzy. Suddenly, LA was back. They took a 4-point lead into the final period, and the entire city was praying they could just extend this series for one more night. The fourth quarter was a back-and-forth war. Hayes with a block on one end, LeBron with a layup on the other. Austin Reeves hit a rainbow three over Caruso at the buzzer to keep the fire burning. LeBron, Rui, and Reeves were all over 20 points. Shooting a combined 51%, they were right there. But in the clutch, the ghost that has haunted the Lakers all series returned: turnovers. Stolen by Hartenstein, fed to Shai, the spinner is in. And then, defensive breakdown for the ages. Why was Hayes in the corner guarding a guard while Reeves was left in the paint with two giants? Holmgren jackhammered it in, scoring 6 straight points to give OKC the edge. It all came down to one final possession. Pack your bags for Cancun or score. LeBron James, the king, against Alex Caruso. James drove, he got the look, he did everything right, but the layup just didn't fall. The ball rattled out, the buzzer sounded, and just like that, the Lakers' season was over. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finished with 35 points, sealing the 4-0 sweep. The Thunder become the first defending champs since the 2018 Warriors to surpass the second round, and SGA was quick to point out the MVP of the series, AJ Mitchell. The rookie answered the call, scoring 28 points on 63% efficiency. For the Lakers, a summer of monumental decisions looms. Is this the last time we see LeBron in that jersey? But while one legend's season ended in heartbreak, another superstar was busy breaking the record books in Cleveland. The Cavs needed a hero to tie their series against the Pistons, and for the first half, it looked like they were out of luck. Donovan Mitchell was a ghost. 4 points, 1 of 8 shooting. The Cavs were lucky to only be down 4 at the break. But whatever Mitchell said to himself in that locker room worked, because he came out in the third quarter and broke the matrix. He got sizzling hot. We're talking NBA Jam levels of fire. Mitchell teed it up from deep, he crossed over defenders, he floated through the lane, he was unstoppable. The Cavs went on a humongous 24-0 stretch, turning a deficit into an 18-point lead. Speeder scored 21 points on 8 of 9 shooting in that period alone. But he wasn't done. He turned the fourth quarter into his personal playground. He finished the second half with 39 points. Let that sink in. He moved past Kevin Durant's 38 for the most points in a second half in NBA playoff history. He is now tied with the legendary Sleepy Floyd for the all-time record. 39 points in 24 minutes of playoff basketball. It was a one-man wrecking crew. The Pistons tried to mount a late bench mob comeback, cutting an 18-point lead down to single digits with a 9-0 blitz, forcing Kenny Atkinson to put his starters back in. But Mobley with the follow-up dunk and Dennis Schroeder with the clutch steal sealed the deal. Cleveland protects home court, ties the series, and Donovan Mitchell cements his status as a postseason god. The Pistons will need a miracle from Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren in Game 5 to stop this momentum. And speaking of miracles and dark turns, the NBA world is still reeling from what we saw from Victor Wembanyama yesterday. The alien showed his dark side for the first time, and it has everyone talking. If you want to see exactly what happened to Wemby and why the Spurs are in a state of shock, click the video right here. This season is far from over, and the drama is only getting started. Peace out.